All right, so all last month we looked at the life of Zacchaeus. And Zacchaeus is this incredible story of a man who was unseen and was ignored, but found love in the eyes of Jesus while he was sitting in a tree. Zacchaeus was this man that was hated. He was this man that had given his life to just look out for himself and get as much money as possible to steal from his own people as a tax collector. But when he found Jesus, when he sat down with Jesus for dinner, he realized he was a man that had purpose in this world. And Zacchaeus was this man that, while he had only looked out for himself at one point, once he realized he had purpose, he began looking out for other people. And he began seeing people in need and providing for those needs, giving away some of his stuff and making sure that people were truly loved and cared for. And here, at the end of the day, Jesus changed Zacchaeus' life. Jesus changed Zacchaeus' life with an intentional, loving interaction where he said, Zacchaeus, I see something in you that you may not even see in yourself. And it's this beautiful idea of how people see themselves once they experience the real life-changing love of Jesus. And so I'm going to give you guys a challenge. Not paying attention, boys. I'm going to go ahead and offer this up to you right up front. This year, who will you help see the real life-changing love of Jesus? Who is it in your life, at your school, in Scouts, in the band, in choir, on the field, on the court, whatever you may be involved in, who is it that needs to experience the real life-changing love of Jesus? I love being around a bonfire, obviously. We're out here by a fire tonight. You guys already saw me messing around with it and throwing sticks in it. I absolutely love fires. I love the smell of fire, like when I'm driving down the road and I smell a fire, just breathe in nice and deep and enjoy the scent. I love cooking hot dogs and marshmallows over fire. I love sitting around with friends and family around a fire. But one of my favorite things is to watch the fire burn and to put a stick on the fire and see this stick that was once not on fire light and suddenly catch flames. And it's this beautiful metaphor for what it looks like to be a follower of Jesus. Because a stick that is in the fire, that is on fire, is being changed. And when Jesus intersects with our lives and we kind of catch fire, we are changed. The real life-changing love of Jesus changes us and changes the people in our lives. In John chapter 13, Jesus was about, and the smoke is following me now. Jesus was about to go to the cross. And he had had this last meal with his disciples. And you guys have probably heard about this meal. It's where we get Jesus' Last Supper. And he washed the disciples' feet and he shared communion with the disciples. But at one point, he realized this message that I have started with these 12 guys has to continue. It has to go further than just right here, right now. Because the message that Jesus started was so much larger than just 12 guys. The message that Jesus brought to this world was so much larger than the crowds of people that followed him around in the first century. The message that Jesus brought to the world was so much larger than just the Middle Eastern part of the world where Jesus was born into. The message that Jesus brought to the world was for every single person around the globe throughout all of history. And so if Jesus wanted this message to continue on past the lives of the people that were just living while he was around, He knew that this message had to spread like wildfire. It had to spread like fire. And so as Jesus sat down at that last dinner with his disciples, he said this. He said, I give you a new commandment. Love each other. Just as I have loved you, you also must love each other. This is how everyone will know you are my disciples, if you love each other. See, here's what I think. I think Jesus recognized that there was one way that his message was going to spread. And it was the same way that Zacchaeus' life was changed. It was by one person interacting with another person. Hey, Luna, leave the fire alone right now. One person interacting with another person and showing Jesus love to that person. When Jesus did that with Zacchaeus, it changed everything for Zacchaeus. And when we do that with the people around us, it changes everything for the people around us. And again, fire is this beautiful example, because when the logs are on fire, they're being changed. But this incredible thing happens when you put a stick in a fire. The stick lights on fire. And we're all like, yeah, obviously that happens. But if I held a stick from right here, that stick would not light on fire. It takes close proximity of one stick being on fire, getting close enough to a stick that is not on fire for that stick to light. And that is the way that Jesus' love and message spreads. It's when we as individuals get close enough to other individuals to show them the true, incredible, life-changing love of Jesus. It's personal. It's really vulnerable. It's intentional. It's individual to individual. So, again, this school year, who will you help experience the real life-changing love of Jesus? Who is it that God is bringing to your mind that needs to experience his love? I think there's a few different areas that we can help people experience Jesus' love, and it's seen in the story of Zacchaeus. First of all, strangers. When Jesus walked past that tree, Zacchaeus was a stranger to Jesus. They had never met before. Zacchaeus just wanted to see who Jesus was. But Jesus saw Zacchaeus. Listen, we can change lives when we actually see people. When you are walking down the hallways of your school and you see the individual lives of the people you pass. When you are in the grocery store and you're walking down the aisles and you see the people that you pass. When you see the cashiers that you interact with. When you see the people that are serving you at restaurants. A little bit goes a long way. And this is what started it for Zacchaeus. It was just being seen. And we can impact people for Jesus Christ, and we may never know the impact. But when we see strangers for who they are, as dearly loved children of God, and we treat them as such, we can change lives. Now, you will never see the change that God does in those people's lives because they're strangers. But you can change lives by showing strangers the love of Jesus. Showing them that they value and they matter. And then there are acquaintances. Jesus and Zacchaeus sat down for a dinner, and they weren't close. They were just acquaintances. They were just getting to know each other. And in that moment, Jesus communicated something to Zacchaeus that was beyond just being seen. He communicated, dude, Zacchaeus, you serve a purpose. You're valuable. And we all have acquaintances, people we know that aren't like our best friends, but we know them well, and we can communicate value to those people. We can communicate that their lives serve a purpose and they are valuable. And when we can communicate that to the acquaintances around us, we can change people's lives. And then there's our best friends. There's the people that we know very, very well. And we don't know exactly what Jesus and Zacchaeus' relationship was after that meal. Church tradition says that Zacchaeus went on to do great things for God's kingdom, but I imagine that Jesus and Zacchaeus kept in touch. That their relationship went beyond just acquaintances. And with the people that we are best friends with, we can really do some influential work in their lives. When we are honest and vulnerable with them. We don't always have to pretend like we have everything figured out. We can ask questions of each other. We can start conversations about some deeper topics. We can learn from each other. We can show them that in the good times and the bad times, that there is a God that is with us, that loves us, that thinks we're valuable even when we don't necessarily feel valuable. But that takes vulnerability. That takes intentionality. That means getting real with the people around you. And so I want to encourage you guys this year, as you walk the hallways, be influential in strangers, be influential with acquaintances, but really begin praying, who is one person this year that you can really begin to show the love of Jesus to? That you can begin to express, man, I don't have it all together, and my life is not always rainbows and sunshine, but I have a God that loves me through it all. And you can help them see that there is a God that loves them through it all as well. Fire spreads stick to stick. And throughout the centuries, Jesus' message has spread individual to individual to individual. And he doesn't want what you experience with Jesus to stop when you leave this world. He wants it to continue through your friends, through your acquaintances, and through the strangers that you meet. And so my practical challenge tonight is this. This week, begin praying and really thinking and asking God, who is that one person? And how can I truly begin to impact them for your kingdom? Who is that one person? The one person that I'm going to pray for all school year long. And how can I begin to truly impact them for your kingdom? Let me pray. God, thank you so much for tonight and for this fire. For the